Okay, this is Passport Brother Todd, and I'm no longer in Thailand. I'm in Mexico. I'm in Playa del Carmen, which is about an hour south of Cancun. But this video is not about Mexico. I'm gonna do another video about Mexico later. I've only been here for about 2 days, so I really got not too much to say about it. But this one is more about Thailand, and I want to finish up with some things about Thailand. Okay, people always say that the women in Thailand, especially Phuket, or not Phuket, but Pattaya, are professionals. Even if they have a respectable job, they have did stuff in the past and all that other bunch of stuff. And let's assume that all of that is 100% true, okay? But then I asked the question, why is Thailand different than all the other Asian countries? Different than Vietnam, the Philippines, Sri Lanka, Korea, Japan, and all the rest. Well, let me get the history of Thailand first. Back in the 60s or the 70s, Thailand was starving to death. People were dying of hunger. And the king introduced a fish into the lakes and rivers of Thailand that saved the people from starving to death. So that's one of the reasons why the people in Thailand love the monarchy, love the king and whole works. In fact, Thailand has 10 kings, right? And they all have different roles. You know, the grandfather is number one, the son is number two, and all down the line. I have no idea if they have any princes, or princesses, but they have 10 kings, okay? So when you're starving to death, your mindset goes from thinking about the future to thinking about now. It goes from thinking about other people to only thinking about yourself. So more like the whole country kind of changed. The whole mindset and perspective of all the people in the country pretty much changed. Remember, you have to take that into account of consideration. Then I met a guy who's been going to Thailand since 1987. And he said back in 87, if you were a foreigner, you were a god, you were a king. He said that's because you had cash in your pocket. He said it didn't matter how much cash you had, if it was $1 or $1 million, it was the fact you had cash. Because most of the people did not have any cash. Most of the people were living off the land or the fish that the king put in the rivers and streams or whatever. He said because of that, the diet was very low in protein, and the women were a lot smaller than compared to what they are now. Because now they're getting a lot more protein, a lot more nourishment or substance within the diet. So you came in there, you had cash, you could buy stuff that they could never buy before. You know, you were a foreigner, you were new. And we also got to remember, back then there was no education. So there was no information about STDs or sexual transmitted diseases, no sexual education about how babies are born. Most of these women were raised poor and in the cornfields, in the rice paddies. So you're a foreigner, you're brand new. It seems like you're very knowledgeable, very sophisticated. You know, and Thailand is also a very traditional country. Most of Asia is very traditional when it comes to marriage and family. And you have to take that into account of consideration. So you come in, they're gonna listen to you. They're gonna believe your lies and everything else. Plus, when the little girls leave these cornfields, which they're pretty much innocent, and they go to major cities, they meet these other Thai women who seem to be like their aunties or their big sisters, who tell them to do things, and they believe them and they trust them, and they start following what these women are telling them to do. But these women are really just taking advantage of them, putting them out there as professionals, making a living off these girls' innocence. You got these foreign men coming in doing the same thing. The girls are thinking that, well, he's with me, he's paying for all of this stuff, he must like me, he must want to one day marry my ass. But then the guy packs his bags up and leaves and hops on the next plane. So these girls are not really thinking about their future or how it's going to affect them in future relationships when it comes to marrying a Thai man. So it just leaves, so it's like a down, so when you add it all up, it's more like a downhill spiral. More and more girls coming from the rice paddies. The more the older women are taking advantage of them. The foreign men are coming also in and taking advantage of them. It just keeps on going. Right? So, you're taking all of that into account of consideration after years, decades of this stuff. The women finally figured out that I can't trust these foreign men. You know, I better get what I can while I can get it. I'm poor. I have no Social Security. I have no pension. I have no retirement fund. I have no unemployment. I have no sick days or sick leave. You know, there's no food stamps. There's no child support. There's no alimony. You know, if this man leaves, I'm stuck. So I want to get what I can while I can get it. So it's not really a long game that they're playing as much as I'm going to get what I can while he's here, while I can get it from as many guys as I possibly can because I have no real future. You know. So, a lot of guys said, you know, if the girl has a dark past, leave her alone. Well, you know, like I keep saying, Thailand is a different country. Asia is a different part of the whole world with different rules, you know, and expectations and obligations. And you can't always equate what we do in America or in the Western world to what they do there. And the motivations, you know, and what may be motivating them. Yes, there are scammers, and we hear always about the bad stuff because the bad stuff sells. We don't hear about the ones that worked out. You know, the guys who married some of these girls who had a dark past, you know, married them. Everything worked out. They got children, the whole family, and the whole works. My ex-girlfriend, Joy, her mother was Thai, her father was black. You know, it worked out for them. I don't know if her mother had a dark past or not, but there's probably a lot of stories like that we never even hear about. You don't really hear about the good ones. You don't hear about the bad stuff. It's the bad stuff that always sells. That's why I made videos about black neighborhoods and black towns in the United States, because the rest of the world only hear about the bad stuff, which is not even 80% of what goes on in the black community throughout the United States. So yes, you know, some of those girls, I was told from some guys that they do, even though they have a dark past and they've been through, and they still maybe still within the industry, that some of them don't do drugs, don't drink, don't smoke. They send half the money back home to the families. Remember, a lot of these girls, or men too, are supporting, you know, elderly parents. They may have a child that they're supporting back at home, and sometimes some of these adult services can be the best job that pays, or maybe the only job that they can actually get. It doesn't mean that they're bad, like the girls, you know, in the United States. It just means that the situation, what have life given them, they are trying to make the best of it. And you won't know until you meet them, talk to them, date them, you know, see what's actually going on. See what the mindset is actually about. And I met a couple of guys, at least one guy in Pattaya, who said all the girls he dated are just airheads. Yeah, that may be true, but I met other guys who said that the girls they dated from Pattaya are great girls. You know, and they married them, or they got girlfriends or whatever, and they're fine and they're happy. Now, other parts of Thailand may not be as bad as Pattaya, because Pattaya, you know, you got one girl telling another girl to do the same thing, and this is what the results are received and all the other bunch of stuff. But, like I said, Pattaya is a big place. Thailand is a big country. Well, not really a big country, but it's a nice sized country. And all of them are not like that. You know, like I said, when I was in Bangkok, I saw those girls getting off the school bus. You know, they're not like that. They didn't come from the rice paddies, but they're not that way. They were probably raised in a good household. They got an education and everything else. And the parents probably do not even expect them or want them to go into the professional service industry. All right? So I'm gonna close with that and say that we only hear about the bad stuff. We don't hear about all the good stories that actually worked out. Yes, you gotta be careful. You gotta vet these girls. You gotta watch your back. You gotta see what they're about. But all of them are not like that. Okay, out.